Winter meetings going on this week.
Ooh.
Going on this week.
Ooh.
So crazy. So things got started pretty quick on Sunday night. The Mariners made a big deal with the Braves.
Bro.
5-player deal. The Mariners sent Jarred Kelenic, Marco Gonzales, and Evan White to the Braves for right-hand pitcher Jackson Kowar. I know it's Kowar. I don't know where the emphasis is. I think it's Kowar. Anyway, and pitching prospect Cole Phillips. He pitched in the complex league this year.
Right.
So the Mariners add more pitchers, Brig,
Yeah.
to their roster, which is already overloaded with pitchers. Not just their 40-man, but their minor league system. It's bursting at the seam with pitchers.
Okay.
And granted, Cole Phillips is no scrub. He was number 7 in the Braves pipeline. But the thing that's funny is that now that he's in the Mariners pipeline, Major League MLB.com has him ranked number 15 in the Mariners pipeline.
Wow.
So, I don't know. So, first things first, this is a salary dump. Jeff Passan said it, and this is the very first thing I thought of was this is a salary dump. 100% salary dump. Yeah. But I have some more thoughts on this. Now, I'll tell you first why it's a salary dump. Jarred Kelenic, first off, is pre-arbitration. He's still on a rookie deal.
Yeah.
He's cheap. Helps to declutter the outfield a little bit for the Mariners because there's a lot going on there. And it also removes a volatile personality from the clubhouse. Granted, his kicking the water cooler and breaking his foot sparked the rest of the team to go on a run. Now, is it because he wasn't around, or is it because he finally showed this team that it's cool to care? You know, I don't know. The jury is still out. The jury is still out on that they were rallying around their injured compadre, or they're like, he's gone, let's go win. Like, I don't know.
Man. Yeah,
I don't know. Okay, but this is where the money comes in. Evan White was due $7 million in 2024, or is due $7 million. He's under contract through 2025 with team options through 2028 with $4 million in buyouts between 26, 27, and 28. This guy, Brig, has played only 84 games at the major league level.
I was going to say, none of that makes any sense.
They have that much money tied up in him because they bought out his arbitration before he made his major league debut.
Yeah.
So they had a ton of money tied up in Evan White, who, granted, is a Gold Glover, but he's also got a glass body. The dude cannot stay healthy. He didn't play at all.
And he's going to play behind Matt Olson? Like, what is going on?
I think what it is he's still young, so it gives him an opportunity to get healthy. No pressure to get healthy because the Mariners kind of had a little bit of pressure on him, especially this year.
Yeah.
Because Ty France didn't have a good year.
No, he didn't.
We could use a little bit more competition at first base, but he just doesn't stay healthy. He's had this hip issue that's lingered for a year and a half.
Yep.
So that's a problem. Then Marco Gonzales, who is a veteran, he's due $12.25 million in 2024 with a $15 million team option in 25. So they had the opportunity to have a good number 5 starter on their rotation for relatively cheap, but at the same time, I've also seen that they don't plan on keeping him, that they're planning on dealing him to somebody. So, but again, like if you send him somewhere like the Reds, he'd probably be a solid number 4.
Yeah.
Right. So,
or St. Louis right now.
St. Louis is pretty loaded up.
Are they?
I don't know if St. Louis would want him back. He came from St. Louis originally to Seattle.
You're right.
But one thing that does do for the Mariners, though, is it declutters the pitching rotation, the starting rotation, because you've got Castillo, Gilbert, Kirby, Miller, and either Wu or Hancock. There's 6 guys right there. Plus, you've got Robbie Ray coming back halfway through the season.
Right.
So there's 7 guys for 5 spots. So it helps with that. Here are the problems that I have with this, Brig. First off, Kowar has a career WAR of negative 2.6.
Yeah.
Maybe he's a back-end low-leverage receiver. I don't know. Maybe they're planning on getting rid of it. Maybe they're planning on DFAing him, or they're planning on dealing him as well.
Yeah, trade chip.
I talked about Phillips. He was the number 7 prospect in Atlanta. He's currently number 15 in Seattle. That's fine. Hold on to him. He's basically free at this point, right?
Right. Or a good trade chip.
or a good trade chip. And this is the thing. This whole trade is one of two things.
Mm-hmm. Here we go.
One, it's either a domino,
Yep.
and Jerry Dipoto is getting ready to make a big trade and land that whale of a bat, right? They talked about going in this offseason. We need to get a bat. We need to get an impact bat. Yeah, but you just keep getting pitchers. None of those guys can hit.
Figure it out. Yeah. They're not even allowed to anymore. Not just that they can't.
Yeah, exactly. The only other option, Brig, is if this is not a domino, this is tanking.
Yeah, it's true.
Shedding a bunch of payroll to come in as cheap as you can and make as much money this season. Yeah. And I don't know what the point of that would be.
So this was a conversation topic at the bus stop today. We're all sitting there nice. We're like, what is happening? It was hilarious. But yeah, I think this is a payroll dump. I think this shores up funding for potential big money purchase.
It ought to.
It has to. It has to. And the team is too good and is well constructed enough to continue pushing. If they're tanking right now, then they know something we don't, or there's no reason to have faith in Seattle.
Exactly right. Exactly right. That's how I feel about it too. And I was texting our buddy Jewel about this, obviously, Mariners fan as well. And I said, it feels like you don't make this deal unless something is like all but done.
Right.
Right. Unless you're like,
they know something we don't.
They have to. But this is the thing. At this point, Brig, at this time of this recording, it's been 24 hours.
Yeah.
You are in the same room as the people you're making deals with. It shouldn't take that much longer. If you're like, yeah, hold on, let me go make a deal real quick. I'll be right back. Like what happened when he walked across the room and made the deal with the Braves, or he didn't have something lined up. And Jerry Dipoto and John Hollander,
right?
They don't know what they're doing,
or they muffed it bad.
Yeah,
could have been a double cross. Could have been, who knows? But
I don't know. All I know is that when it happened, I was like, okay, something is about to happen. But the longer we get removed from this, I'm like, I don't know if anything's going to happen.
Yeah,
it has to, but I don't know if it's going to.
Okay, that's on the Seattle side, but on the Atlanta side, it's just as interesting because it's like, why? So, and I get some of the justification, but the problem is like, anyway, go ahead, say what you're going to say.
So here's this. One thing is the Braves are getting Jarred Kelenic, who is supposed to have a really high ceiling, and I think he still has a really high ceiling. I think he can still be a great player. Yeah. I think, though, he gets into a veteran clubhouse, guys who are not afraid to put him in his place.
Yeah.
And I think if it gets to the point where he's having an attitude problem, it's set straight really quick. And I think I've thought for a while he needs a change of scenery. I liked having him on the Mariners because his highs are really high. We saw at the beginning of the 2023 season. His highs are outstanding, but his lows are also really low, and it feels like it's contagious. And I feel like in Atlanta, they can take advantage of those highs, and those lows won't be contagious at all.
Yeah, I agree.
And I remember it was going into the 2023 season, and about halfway through, Jewel and I were like, maybe he just needs to change the scenery. I think that's all it needs to be, is that will benefit him more than anybody else. Just go somewhere else. And because he doesn't like the front office, he posted on Instagram, and he said, did you see? First, like when he was in AAA, he erased everything Mariners from his Instagram.
But I thought that's what you were going to say.
Oh, no. But today he posted on Instagram. He said, thank you. He thanked the fans. He thanked his teammates. And and he thanked God. He did not thank the Mariners organization. So he has
organizational love.
No love for that front office. And I don't blame him, because they kept him in the minors for a long time.
Really interesting.
Longer than a lot of us thought he should have been. And I wonder if that did something mentally to him and why he struggled so much. But anyway,
very possible.
So I think a change of scenery is going to do him really well, and he's going to. I think he has the potential to be an all-star in Atlanta.
Yeah. Or he's just another trade piece because Atlanta doesn't need him. They just don't.
Yeah, you're right. He's a cheap, really good bat, though. Could be a really good bat. And I could see with what they did to that lineup this year, Like,
Yeah.
something happened in the offseason with that
For
team.
sure.
They were good offensively, but they were great offensively this year. Something happened. And I could
Yeah.
see something happening to Jarred Kelenic getting into that clubhouse and working with whoever they have working with their players and just going off.
Because they're good. Whoever's doing
Yeah.
it's great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hopefully it wasn't Ron Washington. He gone. So
Well, he's their defensive guy. So
that's right. Yeah.
I do still think that the Braves got worse the day they lost him.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
His life got better though, but
It
not
definitely did.
probably not by much.
Given the situation he went into.